Hi, everyone. Welcome to Magic Monday. I'm Wisdom Seeker Joan, and I'm very pleased to have my special guest, SunPsychic Jean and Spirit Whisperer Mark here today. Thanks for coming, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Joan, and welcome everybody. It's so nice to see everyone. Thanks for coming. It's going to be a wonderful Magic Monday. I'm really looking forward to this. I haven't been live in a couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to it. And as everybody can see, Suzuki looks a little different. Usually Terry Suzuki is with us, but we recruited Mark and we just begged him, please, will you please come and play with us? And
She's
he said yes.
Japanese. She's in
Yeah.
Japan, isn't she? Yeah. Japan.
Yep. Yes. So Mark agreed to fill in for Terry Suzuki, and we're just so grateful. It's so exciting having Mark here, and you just add so much fun to the show. Absolutely.
Yep. I won't be able to fill her shoes though. I won't mind trying them on, however, especially.
She's very stylish.
Yeah.
A little pump, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, we were just talking before showtime here about all the different earth changes going on. Mark, didn't you start talking about lots of people hearing these sounds, and lots of times like really loud sounds that nobody can really identify? And a lot of people are talking about how they're coming from the sky, but you were checking in with Pan and said,
Right.
It seems more like earth stuff.
Yeah. And I just kept trying to make it be from the sky. Because at first I thought, oh, it's probably, when I just first heard about it, I thought, oh, it's probably like extraterrestrial or something. That's what my brain was thinking. But then right away I was like, no, that's not it. And then it just kept talking about it's more of an earth noise. And it's actually, like Pan has said for like a couple of years, this whole energy change, a big part of it is bringing the truth to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another one of those things. It's like something about that we don't know about the earth or inside the earth or something that is coming to the surface, because it's like a metallic sound.
Interesting.
And I can see it feels like something, it's scraping, almost like a scraping. But it might have something to do with the pole shifting as well, because I do think it's a natural sound, but I don't think it's one that they've been hearing it now for quite a few years, but up until then, not so much. So a long, long time ago, I think it was more apparent and you could hear it, but it's been a long time, I feel. Anyway.
It's interesting. Well, welcome to Wiki and Karen Doyle, Claire Griffiths, and Jenny Berlin. And thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. And if you have questions, just put them in the chat and we'll see if we can get to them. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've hosted, and I've been kind of busy taking care of a family member who passed away, and now am dealing with emptying out her house and selling the house. But so it's been a while for me. So be forewarned, it might be a little bit rough here as a host, but I'm just so excited to see you. And here's Sue Toffee. And yes, and thank you to all the moderators too.
So we're doing angel readings, spirit guide readings, readings from your loved ones or pets, general readings. If you lost something, or if you had an experience that that is unexplained, just like Mark was talking about those earth sounds, or if there's anything that anyone would like to ask us about how we do what we do, we're just open. We're here.
Yeah. And hello to Sam B and T. Lynn. And thank you for your condolences too. Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, there seems to be a lot coming up. You were saying, Mark, that it's like releasing all the stuff from the earth and kind of balancing, working on balancing things. So there's balancing that happens in lots of different ways.
Yep. because a lot of times I see the earth like it's like a body, like ours. It has like a mental body, spiritual body, emotional body, physical body. And when you're making a big change, which requires you to let go of stuff that no longer serves you, and that's pretty much the same for the earth, I think. So
Yeah.
they're shedding some of that energy that's no longer necessary or appropriate. And that would be like shedding through the emotional body, through the mental body. What do I know? I know nothing. But it seems like that might sometimes translate like to rain, wind, quake, stuff like that. Who knows? But I get that sense, and Pan tells me that there is this relationship. Like you'll have a dark night of the soul. Sometimes a person will, or you have your own personal tower or something, and you go through physical, mental, emotional stuff, and it's like that. But it always is doing that. Everything's always growing and adjusting, but this is like big time. Feels like
Yeah. And Jenny, we were just talking about that. Jenny heard the high pitch ringing, and then they had the earthquake in New Jersey last week. And Mark, you were saying that Pam was saying, yeah, some of these things happen, but they're happening in places like New Jersey that doesn't get that very often. So cool. How cool to hear that, Jenny. Well, let's jump in. And anyone else, if you want to put your questions in the chat, we'd love to answer them for you. But let's start with astrology happenings with Shaughnessy, with a general reading. Okay. All right, let's see what we can do.
Stream this, if you don't mind, Joan.
Oh, do.
I told people I was coming on here, but I didn't have a link to put on. So I'll just stream.
Oh, I'm sorry.
People. No, it's not your fault. I just didn't have anything to like go, go this way. But, just keep going.
Okay. Well, we will tune in and see what we can get for astrology happenings with Shaughnessy.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Heather from Indigo Jaguar. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, Shaughnessy, general reading. I see big hearts around you. Not only the hearts that you put in, that's not a coincidence that you put hearts there, but I see a big heart around you. I do see a lot of love, and not sure if you know that it's coming, but I do feel that there is love coming around you, and let me just see if it's from your loved ones on the other side, or is it somebody in this world? Is this love that I see around Shaughnessy, is this coming from the other side of, so your loved ones are from the other side are sending you love. And is there love coming into Shaughnessy's life? Is there companionship and love coming into Shaughnessy's life? Yes, there's love coming into Shawn. So does Shaughnessy know about this love that is coming into her life? Is she aware of this love? I feel as though you're aware of it. I feel as though you may just need confirmation. You may just be in the beginning stages of it, or you may just be, you may have this premonition yourself. I don't know if you're preparing yourself. And like, how I always say, put if you have a picture of a rose, make sure you have a picture of two roses, or if you have a statue, make sure you put two statues together. But a couple things. If you have one teacup, make sure you put like a set of two teacups, maybe on top of each other or something, like couple things in your decor, and make sure you have things in twos and to enhance that energy. If you have a painting of a single woman, no matter how beautiful she is, just take that down for a little while, because you want to make sure you have things that have two or more people in it. But there's definite love, and it's a big giant heart, and it's unconditional and very much well deserved.
Cool. When I tuned in, I saw kind of, first it was a white ship on the sea, but then it was like a dark background, and there was this, not a full sphere, but it was like half of a sphere, big white glowing thing on the horizon, and it was split down the middle, so it was like something that could open like this. So it opened, and it didn't just open up like this orb opening. It kind of became something more. It looked like it was the Sydney Opera House, with all the this big wonderful architecture just opening up and being this place, and where all this wonderful music and everything happens. And then I saw the lights and everything coming out from it. So it was like, it went from this protective shell to opening up to being something wonderful. And when I drew a card for you, I got, well, this is kind of funny. Here's sort of a dark and light orb that's opening up with the yin yang symbol there. But it's Archangel Cassiel, who says, "Face fear and rise." So I think the message of that kind of cryptic image is that maybe there's something that you're a little bit afraid of, and maybe a little bit overprotective about. And I don't want you to throw caution to the wind or anything like that, but think about, are there ways where you could safely kind of open up a little bit more? Because I think that you will get tremendous benefit from it. And maybe some of that is a way for the love that Jean was talking about to come in, because you'll be able to just, send out those great vibes, just like that come from the Sydney Opera House. Anyhow, I hope that made some sort of sense for you. How about you, Mark? What do you get?
First of all, I get the Ace of Cups, which is great. That's Jean was talking about love energy stuff coming in. But I'm also hearing with this one, like a message from Spirit, that Spirit has your back, and don't think it doesn't. It's right there, and there's like a little gift of love coming your way. Now, love to me is God, Spirit. So there it comes. Now, this would be where you have to let me know, because I don't know. I don't know. It feels like that you've been up against it a little bit with something, like some kind of little bit of frustrating energy. It might be with like a person in position, like that you have to get permission from, like somebody like that, that's like not being that nice, or holding back paperwork or something like that. I don't know exactly what this is about, but kind of being up against it a little bit and a little bit frustrated. But what the point of bringing that up is, it's about to come to an end. If you've been frustrated about something in the physical world, I'm thinking it's physical, that's about to end. And that there's some balance coming your way. And with that, on the bottom of the deck, I have the Sun. So like, moving free of that. Now, only you would know if you've been going through it a little bit about something. The reason I was saying that is because I'll show you, frustrated about my job. Well, see, because I thought, is it job? Is it some kind of bossy? Because it's the Hierophant. But this didn't give me like good, oh, what a wonderful Hierophant. No, this is like kind of trying to thwart you, or being in your face and not really being that good. But then you also get the Ten of Swords, which to me is putting an end to this conflict, or getting to the other side of this. This isn't you going through swords in the back. This would be more that Hierophant kind of energy. Oh, your boss is blocking you. Yeah, that gives me such goosebumps when that kind of stuff comes up, because guys, I don't know anything. So it has to be Spirit. Because, I get these cards, and it isn't even necessarily the meaning. And I was go, what is that? And it'll be, it's about the ball. Anyway, I know you guys get tired of me telling you how amazed I am at myself. It's not that, guys. I'm just always amazed at how spirit will work. And I'm just so grateful that for whatever reason, it can kind of work through me. Anyway, so the good news about that, sweetie, is that I think it's coming to the end. We're about to get a big dose of temperance in there, balancing out. So if this moves on, you don't have to keep that thing coming up and up and up. And then, you know, who doesn't want the sun? That's an ultimate, it's a good outcome. Thanks, sweetie.
That sounds good. And she said to Jean, never tried cupping in twos. Thank you very much. And
but have you tried spooning?
And wanting to open a retreat center. So maybe you'll maybe the design will look like the Sydney Opera House. Who knows? And I think she's frustrated about her job and mentioned the boss blocking her. So yeah. So thank you for that feedback. That's really helps us. And thank you for the question. All right. Now we've broken the ice, and here's Jenny Berlin, who would like a general reading, please.
Jenny Berlin.
Okay.
So, Jenny, I'm feeling for you that you are on a, you have some gifts or abilities, so to speak, and you are in touch with your spirit guides or meditating or listening to gentle nudges. You sort of feel the energy around you. You sense the shift in the density of the energy around you. I'm not sure if you're verbal, like you're getting, but you do feel it. I think you get feelings. But you also probably work with oracle cards, and they're just. Oh, they're also telling me that you may also do Reiki or some sort of a healing modality. And this is something that you're like, am I really any good at this? You're like, I'm going through the motions, but I don't feel the magic yet. And they're saying to hang in there, to keep moving forward, to keep going through the motions, to keep the practice, to keep pulling the cards, keep sending energy, keep connecting to spirit. And it's almost like a muscle. It's almost like it's a practice, and it's with your intention, and release sort of the outcome or the expectations, and just trust and give it the benefit of the doubt that your intention is coming through. And they're just saying that that you have a wisdom inside of you that wants to come through, and they want you just to set aside your own doubts and fears, about maybe making a mistake or getting something wrong. And they say just trust and set aside any doubt. They're saying you do definitely have this connection. And I feel as though they keep sending me to my solar plexus, my gut. And this is what I'm picking up for you, Jenny. So I hope that makes sense.
Before we're going on, I just want to welcome Melissa Hines and Holly DeShane, Annie Bear, Lisa Niedermeyer, Lisa Keller, and DL Mealy. Thanks to everybody for coming. Lavita Smith, and oh my, Bora Bora. So many people. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. So Jenny, when I tuned in, I got this, of course, weird image. I saw you kind of dressed up like, and you were on this contraption. It's a winter scene. You're up on the top of this mountain and going down, but you're sitting in this contraption where it has skis on the bottom of it, but you're sitting in it. So it's like this little thing you're sitting in, and it has skis on the four or I guess it's like a trike, sort of skis instead of wheels. And you're going down and it's absorbing all the bumps, but you're just kind of sitting there and it's going okay. You're not falling off. You've got the winter hat on, but you're just kind of sitting there and letting it do its thing. And then, oh, and by the way, when I zoomed out, it wasn't a mountain, it was an ice cream cone that you were going down. So anyhow, I don't know what that means. But then the next pictures that came was that you got up out of that little contraption, that little ski trike thing, and all of a sudden you're ice skating. And so you're using your body and you're playing hockey. And you were like moving and using the edges and all those things that you weren't when you were on this little contraption. And then you turned into the instead of the hockey, the figure skating, and doing just even more beautiful, beautiful moves that are just all these little subtle shifts. And there's like nothing between except just those little metal edges between you and the ice. And it's your power that's making all this beauty happen. So I think the message here for you might be that don't just let life happen to you, or there might be something that's coming in between you and your ability to really connect, whether that's in connecting at work or with people or with spirit or whatever. But if there's something like, I don't know what it could be. It could be another person. It could be a belief that this is the way you have to do it, or whatever. But just get rid of that, because you'll go just fine. But to really excel at whatever this thing is, you need to kind of be more authentic and just get into it and do it with no visible means of support. Just those little edges. And when I pulled a card for you, I got the satellite symbol that says turn on your light. And yeah, and I think it's just this little subtle shift, because things were really sweet. You were actually snow skiing or whatever that thing was down an ice cream cone. So it's not like a bad thing. It's just some fine tuning to get rid of something that's in the way to really reach your full potential.
Cool.
How about you, Mark?
Love it. Well, I'm hearing all the things you guys are saying. It's ringing little bells in my ears.
Yay.
Jenny, I think you're new to me, Jenny. I don't know if I've read for you before, but anyway, have you been like consciously working on manifesting or manifestation? Like actually, practicing on creating something you want? I feel like maybe you have been, maybe not. It's okay if you haven't, but that's what I'm hearing. And I think there's been a little pause. Oh, is that my yes? Maybe. And your brain is wanting to blame yourself for it. And it's always a pause. So let me tell you. So here's the thing. So if this is true, you've been setting up this idea, I'm going to co-create, manifest what I want with spirit. And, I'm going to actually make speaking of Magic Mondays, make the magic happen here in my life, practically. And it's coming, but it's on this Knight of Pentacles. And so it's stopping for a drink to get a little more energy. And you can feel the stop, but it's not a bad stop. It's to replenish and refresh. It's still got the pentacles. It's still coming. It's got your creation on the way. It's moving into this Ace of Cups. So the gift's coming. It's working, but be careful. Now, for decades now, I've had to work on this. So not to let your old weenie mind get in there and go, oh no, it's stopping. It must be something I did wrong. So I get this 5 of Swords. Neener, you didn't do it right. You messed it up. They're got to do it different, better, uppity-boppity-bop. Instead of, I don't really, right now is a good time just to pause, relax, allow it to come through, and don't really assign any kind of stupid blame because you didn't have anything to do with it. So you got that that Knight, but you also get the Chariot. So everything's in movement. It's a coming. And you're going to reap the rewards of the work you put in. This is the 7 of Pentacles. Is it 7? Yeah, 7. But that's when you're kind of looking over what all you've been putting into it, and then you get a little prize. So the harvest is coming. There you go, sweetie. And that's basically the message: learning to trust and breathe. That little niggery mind that had so much training the whole time we grew up can sneak in there when we least want it to. And it's like I constantly have to be on alert and go, now wait a minute, what is all this negative nig-nag in my brain all of a sudden? And I'll have to stop it again, even though I've been doing this a long time. Now it's a lot better. Used to be it was constant, and so now it just sneaks in and out of there. But it's just reminding you to go to faith, not fear. And also it wants to remind you that you're actually good at this. So give yourself a pat on the back and allow it to come through. Okay, sweet. Thank you, dear.
Wonderful. Thanks for the question. That was fun, Jenny. And I think we have many, many questions now. So I think we're going to close questions and focus on the ones we have.
Okay.
Let's see. Oops, yeah. I don't know quite how I did that. All right. Next up, it's Sam B. I would love to know if my spirit guides have any messages for me. Oh, what a lovely friend you have. Yeah.
Doggy on there, yeah.
And Sam just, okay, they said hi. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
I love this.
Yeah.
So I feel like, Sam, you have a heart of gold, which is wonderful, but it's almost like you're crying for other people's spilt milk. You're extending your energy to fix other people's difficulties, challenges, and if you don't mind me saying, this is just what I'm getting, Sam B. It's to avoid focusing on your own stuff. And, you're really good at helping other people and fixing other people and saving other people and doing for other people. But when it comes to you doing something for yourself that you really want, you really procrastinate. I feel as though there's like an avoidance there. And I don't mean to be, I'm trying to be as tactful and as kind and helpful as possible. But this is what I feel like. You have such a huge heart and you love helping other people, and it does make you feel good, and it is good for you. It gives you confidence. It gives you sort of purpose. But there comes a point in time where that your tanks are going to empty out and there's not going to be anything left for you. Not that there's not going to be anything left for you, but you want to be able to fill your tank and also fill other people's tanks. Don't empty your tank for somebody else. And it is commendable for you to be a resource for other people. It is really amazing for you to be there in emergency situations. But on this ongoing type of scenario, you want to be able to make sure that you're filling your tank and doing what you need to do for you and making yourself happy. And in addition to, make sure that that is a balance there. And it's almost like you have some stuff that you need to work on, but as long as you're fixing other people's stuff, you don't have to look at it. And that Sam is saying that's very true. And I'm sorry, I don't like to be, calling you out, but that's just what I was feeling. So, but you do have a huge heart, a lot of empathy, and with all of us, it takes a while to learn that balance.
That's beautiful. And I know that when readings come through, when spirit comes through, it's not just for Sam B, but there's probably lots of people who need to hear that, and including myself. Oh. So I will.
Sorry, Joan.
Nope, that's true. That was definitely a message for me. But Sam, when I tuned into you, right away, I got my throat chakra just lit up, and I kept hearing to speak up for yourself, and sing your own song. And then I went over, and if you went back to the tape, you can see me giggling because I pulled a feather from my feathers deck, and I got the canary, and it said, "Step forward now and sing your own song. There's power in finding your voice." So, yeah, focus on singing your own song too, and finding, maybe setting some limits sometimes, some boundaries. But there's Canary has a beautiful song, and it's people want to hear your song too. How about you,
Love it.
Mark?
Well, just while you were saying that, sing your own song, this card came out, leading, step out in front. Lead, sing your own song, be the leader. Come on, jump out there in the pack. A little bit, you don't give yourself enough credit. First of all, Sam B. You focus a little too much out there, and we'd like you to look a little more in here. That's what we've already heard from Jean too. There's this thought that it's never enough. You're not enough. You don't do enough. You're too hard on yourself. I don't think you had a lot of great confidence building growing up and stuff like that. So you kind of beat yourself up a little bit more than I'd like for you to do. And almost like you're not worth the attention you give to others, that you're less worth it. So you'll just put your attention on others because you don't matter. Now, I'm not saying, yes, I may doubt myself. I know it sounds like we're calling you out. You're not really. We're not really. These little things rise their ugly faces with all of us from time to time. So it's like what Joan was saying. You'll bring it to the surface, but it comes up for a lot of us to look at. And contentment, be satisfied. You are enough. You're a lovely, wonderful person. Acknowledge that. Actually treat yourself. Be kind to yourself. Realize you don't have to go rescue everybody else. When people always ask me, what's my purpose? Our big purpose for everybody is to realize as fully as we're able our very own personal, unique connection to source and how to express it here on the earth. That's really the way we can be best service to ourselves and everyone else concerned. So that means focus within and appreciate who you are. You are an offspring of the Creator here to act as such. And so they want you to put a little bit more faith in that, confidence in that. Call yourself that. I am God. God is me. I am joy and prosperity. I am. I don't have to wait for somebody else. Go for it. Go to the front. Express who you are in your own unique way. Okay,
That's beautiful.
Thing,
I think those hit the mark with Sam. So we wish you the very best on that.
Yes.
I can empathize. I'll be re-listening to the responses to that question myself. Let's see. Next up, we have our lovely Karen Doyle. Any messages?
Okay,
let's see what we can bring through for Karen.
Karen.
So Karen, it's unusual, but I'm just picking up a little bit of energy that you are the light in somebody's eyes. You are you are somebody's world. Somebody really relies on you and looks at you and sort of watches for you every move that you make. And it sounds, I mean, I don't know, could this be a pet? I mean, it's somebody who absolutely adores you and is in awe over you. Do you have like a grandchild or somebody that just is so smitten with you? I feel as though it's a younger or smaller soul. And I don't mean to be, I mean, I do get confused between young children and pets sometimes because they're such young, unconditional love type of souls. But I feel as though that you are the light in somebody's life and that you mean the world to them and that you shine and they can see your light. They're just telling me that you carry so much information and energy to help somebody else along just by being the example, just by others watching who you are and what you say and how you carry yourself. And this is what they wanted me to share with you.
That's so cool. When I tuned in, I got something sort of similar. I saw, it's almost like that little star emoji with the lines coming out. And I was hearing, "You're a shining star," da 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 da, whatever that song is. And the star is going back and forth, just doing its star thing, twinkling. And then, as is typical in the things I see, then there's like a shower nozzle thing that comes out, and somebody's holding the shower head, and it's spraying right through the star. And you, as the star, are thinking, "Oh, it goes right through me," and feeling like you're less than because I'm not solid. It just goes right through me. It's all a mirage or something. But then I back up and see that it's not really just water, it's light coming through, and you're casting your glow behind you. So there's something about you that you think, "Oh, I'm not so special," or whatever. But it's just in that you don't realize the light you're casting. And by being an example or just by being you, that you're kind of throwing starlight on people. So feel good with that. You're doing a great job. You're the star. You're the shining star.
Love it.
Oh, and I got a card, and it's leap, and I like it because of the light there, and spread your wings.
That's beautiful. What deck is that you're pulling from, Joan?
That was one that our dear friend Terry Suzuki got for me ages ago, the Female Archangels.
Oh, okay.
Archangels Oracles by Marie Jo, a name I can't pronounce. And I don't have many decks because I don't want to rely on them too much. So I just kind of use these two constantly. But it still amazes me how they can be appropriate for the person.
Absolutely.
Okay, enough about me talking. What did you do? What did you get, Mark?
It's so cool. I know the way the cards are like, what? For you, Karen Doyle, I hear they want you to go to neutral. This is interesting because I did a private reading where we talked about this too this week. But okay, we're talking about it again with you. So sometimes with their mind, rather than thinking about what could happen, would happen, should happen, might happen, or the positive aspect, just go into neutral. It's almost like I'm not thinking. I'm just going to stop thinking about anything. And that's kind of what you want to do when you get into meditation, because in order to hear spirit, you have to kind of get quiet and kind of free your mind of expectations about what the message might be, how it might be, what you think it is. You have to just go into a neutral state of allow it to be. And that's a good practice to do. So for all of us, but they're saying to you. So I'm going to show you the cards in a minute, but they want you just to sit down for a moment, 2 moments, 5 moments, breathe. You just get quiet, breathe. You're not really thinking about anything. You're not really trying to do anything. You're just being quiet and still. So you're looking for stillness. Breathe and just sit in that neutral stillness. because in that, you'll realize your connection to the universe. Now, we talk about this, all of us on these channels do all the time, but there's still this, because this came up this way. There's still this idea, am I really connected? Is this like the big old joke and I'm not really? You are. And those moments of stillness and quiet will help convince you of that and make you know it. Now, so not only that process, even if it's for a few minutes a week or a day, whatever you decide, it will, afterwards, you'll feel like dancing a jig. It gives you a little energy, a boost, let's go kick up our heels, be happy we're here on the earth, dance on the surface. And one other thing he's telling me is, when you're sitting quietly in neutral, it may bring up emotion. You may find yourself crying. Because getting that neutral, just allow that to flow out. And that's okay. That's because this one too came up upside down and I flipped it. Because there's this holding back sometimes. I don't want to be emotional about it because I'm trying to make it better or whatever. I feel like I can't really feel it. So again, you're not thinking about anything in particular. You're just going to neutral. But sometimes that quiet, neutral place might stir up some emotion and it'll flow out, which is really the purpose, and it's a good thing. So don't worry about that if that comes up. And then I also got the breath card. So, that was like, please sit down, take a breath, get quiet. There you go, sweetie pie.
That was brilliant, Mark. I love that. It was very important for all of us.
Yeah.
And that's weird cards that did that one. So. And
thank you, Wiki and Kelly S. for getting the lyrics and the singers of that song, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love it.
When you see an animated star on Joan's readings, you know something special is about to happen. I love it.
And then the shower head. Here's golden yellow. Can I please get a message from my spirit guides? Oh, I like that little ladybug.
Golden yellow with a little ladybug on it. Golden yellow. They want me to do a different deck. What's the deal here, Lucille? Okay, this one.
So, golden yellow, I'm feeling a little bit more of an angelic force around you, in addition to your spirit guides. And I feel as though you may also be doing the work of angels. I'm not sure if you are, if you have made sacrifices in your life for other people, or for other reasons, and you have set aside your own dreams to help others. You're here on a path of service, and I don't know. You might even be like a nurse of some sort, but you do the work of angels. You have a compassionate, very healing. I don't know if you work with the sick or if you work with people who have, challenges of some sort, but you have an amazing angelic quality about you there. And it's all around you. And it's almost like it works through you. And I don't know if people say this to you, that you're the kindest, sweetest, nicest person. And I don't know if your friends, they all come to you, or, but there is something really special about your energy, and you have a life of service. I feel as though you've done this service. You've worked a while at this service, and you're now you want to know how everything works, why all those miracles happened. And like you've always trusted and always knew that there was an outside force or source that was moving you and creating these scenarios around you. But now you're like, okay, now tell me why. Like you're really getting curious, and you really are getting called by your spirit guides and angels to sort of find out the inner workings of all of this and become more of a co-creator rather than having things work through you. You want to know how it all works. So that's what I was getting for golden yellow.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Cool.
When I tuned in golden yellow, I saw this big old ship, like a tall ship with all the riggings and the type that Christopher, like the Nina Pinta and Santa Maria or something, this hulking big wooden ship. And you were working really hard to get the rigging up and everything, but so the wind came and you had the wrong part here or there, and it was kind of tipping over, and it was just a lot to deal with. And it made me feel like maybe there's something in your life that you've almost bitten off more than you can chew, or something's just gotten to be enormous and hard to manage. And then I saw a smaller sailing ship. If I were a real mariner, I'd know, I could tell you what kind it is, whether it's a sloop or a whatever, but I don't. But it had a spinnaker, it had a mainsail, and it had the other sail. And it was, you were just like maneuvering it so easily. And there were like 3 people there. You were at the tiller, and it was just so easy. So maybe there's something in your life that you need to kind of focus in on something a little bit more manageable. Like you might have bitten off more than you can chew, or you might even be thinking this might be having to do with family or a job or something like that, where you're thinking about this big, massive system and how it's just out of kilter and what can I do about it? You need to bring it in and think about, okay, what can I have an effect on? What can I make go smoothly in this life? And let's just focus on that part. Because anyhow, get into that smaller boat and you'll be out in the bay just looking at the sunset, and it'll be wonderful. So I hope that that's helpful. And when I pulled a card, I got the Archangel of Radiance, who said, raise your standards. So do something smaller well, rather than taking on a big project and just feeling overwhelmed by it.
That's good advice.
Right. Yeah, I see your message, Judith. I'm so happy about that. Yay! That all worked out. That was just some feedback from a reading I did a while back, so I always love to get those. Golden yellow. So nice to meet you. Well, I'm hearing, first of all, this is a message from Spirit. Yeah, you kind of started in the middle, Gray. We're getting close to the nubbins. I feel like some of us here, you had some struggles, some sadness, not the easiest childhood, perhaps, or growing up. There were some difficulties, some things where you might go, why in the world would I ever, as a soul, have chosen this? But they want to say, speaking of golden yellow, you took those lemons and you made them into lemonade. And this is like a nice 9 of Pentacles, and that's that person who's gotten to a place where they're satisfied. They have the things they need. They're pretty good. So it's like reminding you to be grateful for what you had, for how you have transformed what you were dealt and turned it into lemonade, really. Now, so that's kind of a general thing they wanted to remind you of. Now they're also talking about something more like right now, I think. Like, this might not be right. This is what happens when it's like a general, I don't know exactly if I'm right on the dot. But I don't know. I get a feeling maybe there's a move coming, either like a physical move or like a job change or something. So it feels like we're about to have a move, a shift happening. It's kind of a practical thing going on. So I don't know if you're thinking about moving or thinking about changing jobs or that's been a thought in your head. But if it is, it looks like this might be something that's going to be starting, some kind of a move coming soon. So, think with that and see if it resonates with you. But the reason I said that is because I got 2 moving cards in my brain. They're moving for me. That one is going into calmer waters, and the other one's walking away from all those cups.
Wow, look at that.
But they're both kind of leaving this and moving into something new. So, that can mean different things. It could also be, moving along in your spiritual pursuits and moving farther along. But it's some kind of major shift or major, I almost feel like it's a physical move. But, okay.
Interesting. All right. And thank you very much, Gold and Yellow, for the question. Next, I have, let's see.
Hey, Joan, can we just make sure that the next person is here? If you can maybe say them and then make sure that they're, if T. Lynn, if you're still here, just say yes or hi. I think that it really helps to solidify the readings if you are here.
And then Ness, T. Lynn, if you're not here, I think Ness is here, right?
Yeah, I saw Ness.
So why don't
T. Lynn.
Here's T. Lynn.
Okay,
good.
We'll go back and do T. Lynn, and then next will be Ness.
Okay, thank you, ladies. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, T. Lynn, going through a difficult period, ask spirits for signs and prayers. A spirit for sign prayers are heard, but nothing. Okay. Sense spirit presence. Am I missing something? Okay.
There's something about unanswered prayers, and sometimes you could say this or something better, something that you hadn't considered, or an option that you just didn't see was an option. And the most benevolent outcome for everybody involved or everybody concerned is also a good way of phrasing something, phrasing a prayer or a desire or intention.
Yeah.
I also feel like that they're asking you to let go of the burden of carrying the outcome, because it's almost like you're driving, you're holding onto the steering wheel trying to drive, and they can't take control. They need you to let go of control, relax, and trust that they have, that you're letting it's in their hands to guide you and to guide the situation into the highest good for all concerned. And they're saying that because you're holding on so tight, it's not allowing you to move through as swiftly or as easily as it could. So if you could perhaps just say, whatever the outcome of this that I'm going through, I'm giving it to my angels, I'm giving it to my spirit guides, I'm giving it to the universe, to my dragons, whatever you want to give it to. And you want to allow and trust that the universe is taking care of you, that has your back, and feel like you're being carried and guided and floated through the situation. Trust that the outcome may not come as you expect. It may come in a different time, in a different format. And the less you try and control it, because you see that if you have to do this, then it'll get you there. But it may come from in a totally different way. It's one of the hardest things to do, is to trust when we're in this sort of, struggle type of situation, or a desperate situation. And I try and say that lightly, but it's one of the hardest things to do. Even if you can do it for 5 or 10 minutes, just to let it go. That's what they're recommending for you.
It's like that neutral we were talking about earlier. kind of go into that for a couple of minutes. Let everything go, expectations, all that. I'll go ahead, Joan. Okay.
Go for it. Yeah.
Well, first of all, here they heard you, so there's that. So they did hear you. They tried to give you a sign, but you didn't catch it. So let's say, give me a better sign, one that's easier for me to recognize, please, because I didn't get it. And just ask again and say, I need you to be more specific. They say they hear what you need. They heard your request. The seed has been planted, and it's a seed that will grow into a flower. So when they showed me the flower, because there's then we got your message, we heard it, we put it in motion. But like manifestation, like a lot of things, there is ebb and flow. So you put the energy in and then it comes back. So just because it's not there in the next minute doesn't mean it's not working, because you have to kind of let go of your, I know it's hard, but your expectations or your ideas of how to look. And I think Jean already said that, or somebody did. So I end up repeating you guys all the time. But so this ocean is the ebb and flow. And that's the same thing with manifestation work, or when you pray to spirit. They get the message, they put it into work, and then it'll come back to you. They're not about withholding stuff from you. That isn't really the way they work. So have faith and trust. You can ask for clear signs. Again, they might not be exactly what you think, so let go of that. You can even do that little trick we talked about breathing, getting quiet, going to zero or neutral, just sitting there quiet. You might be surprised. A little voice might come through and say something to you. But sometimes we're too noisy. It's not on purpose. You're not trying to be. It's just it's the world we live in. It can be really noisy. It takes a while to figure that out. But that doesn't mean you're not working. So they also give me the gold mine and the rainbow. So gold at the end of the rainbow. So we hear you. We're working on it. I know it's not fun. But don't doubt that we're on your team and that we're working for you for the highest good for you and everyone concerned.
Beautiful. Okay. And I got some of the same type of stuff. When I tuned in, I saw like this vibration hovering around you. And when you're going through a difficult time, it's hard not to put out kind of those stress clouds, but they're kind of creating this energy around you that's harder to get the answers in. And also what came through is, as I think Mark was saying, or maybe Jean was saying, that sometimes the answers to our prayers aren't exactly what we had envisioned. And so look for the little subtle things, and the unexpected things. I was just telling Jean before the show about how I had made reservations to go down to Arkansas and stay out kind of in the boonies somewhere, and had made reservations at a hotel so I could see the eclipse. And I made that reservation on New Year's Eve, which happened to be the day that my family member went into the hospital. And that started this whole cascade of stuff. And then right before the eclipse, the person who was going to go with me canceled, and I just was feeling stressed about it. So it turned out that I didn't go, and I was very relieved about it. And I thought, so what was that all about? Why was I inspired to make that reservation? And in retrospect, it's perfectly obvious that it really was a lifeline for me through this whole journey. I had something to think about and to look forward to, and to kind of keep my mind off the hard things that were happening. But I didn't really need the real thing. In fact, the real thing was giving me more stress because I didn't want to make that trip alone. So sometimes you don't even know that is an answer to your prayer until later. So you're not doing anything wrong. Just kind of breathe and realize that, put it out there. This God or this Lord or something better, according to your will, and know that you're being taken care of, and sometimes the signs can be really subtle and appear in ways that we didn't really anticipate. But we wish you the very, very best. It's rough times sometimes.
I know, like I think back to me, I grew up feeling like I couldn't really count on other people. From a very young age, I realized if it's going to happen, I'm going to have to do it. Like somebody else isn't going to do it for me or anything. And it did make me pretty independent, but I just realized I can't trust those people to do it so it was a little hard for me then to trust the universe because I had all this mistrust built up with lots of experience of how I've been disappointed over and over and over when I put my trust into someone else and assisting and doing so. So, it isn't always the easiest thing. And, it takes a little bit of work sometimes, but just get back up on the horse every time. Just get back up. I do trust.
And you don't, yeah. And you don't have to be perfect. Just even a little bit.
Oh yeah. Thank goodness we don't have to be perfect.
Oh, and I'm afraid this is going to be our last one. We're at 4:30 already, or at least my time. So Ness would love a general reading for this week.
Ness. Well, I saw O.J. Simpson passed away.
Yeah.
I don't know why that came to mind all of a sudden.
What I was feeling for Ness is that she has a lot to be proud of, and to sort of take time to count your blessings in the respect that acknowledge how far you've come, acknowledge your accomplishments, acknowledge your ability to manifest, acknowledge your purpose in this lifetime, and the difference that you've made in other people's lives. Acknowledge the importance that it is to be you and to live in this human existence. And I'm saying that because sometimes we just wish right by all the wins, all the successes, all the beautiful happenings that occur in our lifetime, and say, okay, what's next? Instead of saying, you know what, what happened last week was really, really cool. It really made a big difference. And so many people, it made such a difference in everybody's life. And, really give yourself the credit for the wins that you do have, pat yourself on the back, and take time to acknowledge them. It's really important to note them, celebrate them, write it down, and go out to dinner or call somebody and say you want to meet for a lunch or something. Do something special for yourself. Treat yourself, good for all your accomplishments. I think it's really important, rather than, okay, so that's done, now let's go on to the next, without even acknowledging it. They do want you to give yourself a pat on the back once in a while.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah.
And I just got when I tuned in, I saw you giving a beautiful bouquet to someone, and then it came back to you. And so you were kind of sniffing it. Oh, and it had little paper doilies. Don't look really cute around it. But I think that means that you are reaping the rewards of, what you give, you get back. And so they're kind of acknowledging that, because you've been a giving person and you've looked out for other people, or taken care of others, been focused on that now you're reaping the rewards of that. So it's sort of like planting the seeds and then reaping the harvest. And let's see what we have for you. And they're saying more flow, less hustle, and you can kind of count on that. As long as you're in the flow of giving and getting, that's a good flow to be in. That lands wonderful. How about you, Mark?
Well, it's talking about kind of general things with you, Ness, that we're all going through, but you have a particular interest in it, so it wants to talk to you about it. Because if you're interested in the stars, the planets, the heavens, you have a particular interest in this shift and, all that, you're interested. It likes that. So it wants to remind you that the time that we're in, it's really all of us, we get this, this is the, what's it called? Judgment. But really this card is like a resurrection. You're dead and reborn anew, and there's music and thanksgiving and happiness about it. It's like the second coming. That's kind of what we're going. Jesus would tell me it's exactly what we're going through. But the second coming is coming through all of us, not through an individual. It's not Jesus coming down on a cloud. It's the energy of God lifting up through us. And so that's what we're witnessing. That's what's going on. I love this because look at them all looking. It's almost like watching it happen before our eyes. And it's telling me you're going to be doing a little bit of that, an observer. Now, this card today, it's saying, because I'm going to be on the way, I'll be on the outside looking in. Because some of this kind of getting hit in the head and limping, you might see other people experiencing, but you're on this side looking out. So again, there's going to be some we're like viewers watching things go on. And then one more, it says you're watching, and here comes the white knight riding up on the horse, bringing truth, justice, fairness to the forefront, and you get to watch it go on. So there's a little bit of that going on. We're kind of being observers, and we're supposed to be observing it and kind of recognizing, oh, look, that looked like a white knight actually riding through and bringing a little justice to the world. So it makes me feel like we're going to be seeing evidence of that. And they say, and you are too. And I'm kind of hearing, enjoy it. It's like, just allow it to go past you. You don't want to jump in there and grab it up. Just let it go. It's like you're just watching. There it goes. So you're an observer is what I'm hearing. Okay.
Yeah. So if anybody wants a private reading from Mark, the Spirit Whisperer, you can email him at spiritwhisperer88@gmail. Is that how it is?
Yep. That's
and
right.
I highly recommend it. It's amazing. It's amazing. He is wonderful. And Joan, are you doing private readings? Are you back on?
Probably not until mid-May, but
Okay.
I'll be back at it soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you, Jean? What are you up to next?
Yeah.
Are you doing
I am opened up for private readings. And I do 15-minute readings, 30-minute readings, hour readings, spiritual journeys, all different types of readings. You can just look at the offerings on SunPsychicJean.com. And if you have any questions, just feel free to email me with any questions if you are not sure what to choose at SunPsychicJean at SunPsychicJean@hotmail.com. Yeah. So what an amazing array of questions and readings that came through. Is really interesting.
Yeah. And what a great group of people in the chat. Thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate it. And thank you to our wonderful Mark, Spirit Whisperer, and your darling dog in the background, whose name I've forgotten. Yes. And Jean, thanks so much for being here and helping keep the ship in trim here. And thanks again for everybody. We will see you again soon. Have a great, great rest of your day. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, you guys.